Welcome. Thank you for coming. I believe this is our 9th or 10th live show that we've been doing, so these are getting fun. We're getting lots of response and following on them. They're in the thousands of people that are watching the show, so that's exciting. So thanks for your support, and maybe tell your friends. That's cool. So today is called Santa Claus is Coming to Town. It's fall. We're in the fall season now, so the weather has broken, and we're going to talk about mostly Santas. All new pieces this show. So everything is going to be brand new that you haven't seen. And you can always see them at the marketplace, the markrobertsmarketplace.com. If you want to check out the different pieces there, you can get them there, of course. And when you do that, we have the Klarna option, which allows you, I believe, 4 payments over every 2 weeks for the larger ticket items or the larger ticket sales. So starting out, I said this is going to be more of a design show than a rundown of like all the details of the items. So starting out, I want to talk about the Santa, which is right over my shoulder, that shoulder right there, which is, we ended up calling it Father Christmas Santa. We should have called it Santa Claus is Coming to Town, because he's coming to town in this great deer with this carriage, and he's got the reins, and he's got, of course, got an elf with the saddle going on. But, you know, design, something like this was actually put together late, like very, very, very late. And we pulled things together in the showroom, actually. And we had a Santa that we had available that we could use. And we'd grabbed, you know, we've got a lot of things in the showroom. We grabbed the deer. We had, this is a new saddle, but we had a different version of the saddle, so as we were putting it together. And then the guys actually took wire and velvet and put it on a drill. One of them ran the drill while the other held the velvet real tight and twisted that rope. So you had velvet reins, because of course Santa's going to want velvet reins for his deer, his sleigh. But really elegant piece and fun to put together, because we sit there and, can we go to the back of it, John? We can go to the back of it. You know, we put together a bag of toys, and you know, sometimes all this little stuff, we're pulling it out of other things. We're just trying to finding this stuff in places. Same thing with all of these different elements. You'd be surprised how many times we have something that we maybe made previously that we didn't use, that, hey, this is going to work great. Let's make some more of these real quickly, and we've got the parts, and so we go ahead and do that. But design aspect of it, what's really nice about it, the colors jump and they complement really nicely. Look how rich the red is against the creamy whites and browns of the deer. There's reasons why there's the black velvet shoes and the black sleigh or the carriage with the gold going on it. The brown fur on Santa there, it's because it's a little bit more woodsy, makes it work with that way. White fur doesn't always work for a Santa Claus. We need to have brown furs, black furs, ermine, which is like a black with a white with black, different elements to make the fabrics stand out better, to make, in this case, the trims, the big balls and bells and berries and pine, to help it stand out more. Can we zoom in on that? Are we able to get that zoom on that? we are able to. Look at that. Let's see how close we can get to it. That's good. And we can see the bigger, and you can see the different scale. You've got the larger pieces, 2 different sizes. Then we go down to just a little green shiny bead and berry and pine cone. So we're alternating that also, so it's not just a repetitive, the same thing repetitive over and over and over again. And as we come up to the top on his hat, you can see that we still pick up that theme and Father Christmas, and this is how he got his name because of the candles in his hat. So I always envisioned Father Christmas with candles in his hat, and very, very old-fashioned. So great, great piece. The whole ensemble set there. This is a great one if you're going to get it for Klarna because you can make payments on it. The antlers come apart, or whatever, they're called KD and knockdown so that they save on shipping, but you want to be careful with those that you secure them good once you have them in there. Great piece for like a buffet. We've got it in our, quote, kitchen, because that's what we did today. That's how we set it up, or this week how we set it up. But really great piece. It's long, so it fills a long countertop in the kitchen, or a buffet in the dining room, or if you have a deep set mantle, that would work great. So really good piece. While we're talking Santas, because this is Santa Claus is coming to town, I am going to go over my other shoulder here and look at one of our most popular Santas this year. Candy cane Santa. I mean, really, really pretty. I am going to give you some details on this because of the colors. I want to point out the colors, and this is part of the design. Look at this very sharp green. It's very light. It almost looks spring. In fact, it probably was used for spring, or we bought it for spring and didn't use it. But how great does it work with the red velvets? How nice is that? How sharp is it? With the darker greens here, how that complements each other really, really nicely. And then this other sharp green, I'm just going to be moving things around here to make it all fit. I'm going to stretch his clothes. But look, can we see those greens? Are we able to get them? The 2 different shades of green. So there's lots of green going on here. And then as I'm pulling his shirt and kind of ripping it off of him, I see he's got some great sparkling green pants, which I didn't even notice. Go figure. But this is a fun piece of design because, you know, candy canes, this whole theme is so popular. And so the challenge that we have is to come up with a fresh, new look every year for this type of theme. One of the good things we did is these tassels. There's just, we made this tassel. Jong, you must have made this tassel because it's got 3 different styles of threads going on in there, red and white, and then a sparkly one. You know, we actually go ahead and just make the tassel, and go figure, there's a peppermint ball on top, and then holly and gold berries and stuff. But really, really neat is, while this is the candy cane Santa, his primary colors are actually green. There are at least 3 different green fabrics on here there's actually 4, because you've got this sparkly green up here. That's the foundation or the base for these different red and peppermint colors. We've got a shinier green, we've got that minty, sparkly green, and this really fresh, almost spring green. I'm going to just go out on a limb and call that a spring green. It is very, very pretty with this Santa. It lightens him up really nicely, and all the reds and the whites just pop with it. It just really jumps with it. What a great, great Santa. This one is real popular, and get them while you can. We have another shipment coming in, hopefully. If you've heard about this shipping crisis, it's really nothing to smile about, I can promise you. But we do have some that are still coming in, but we don't know when we're going to get them. So somebody's getting me my head back here. There's a fairy back there. We don't know when we're going to get them, so if you see it in a store or online or at the marketplace, let's say I did it that way, or at the marketplace, get it while you can, because this is one of the ones. There's 2 of them today that are very short supply. Some are more coming in, not a lot, but more are coming in. We don't know when. So next we're going to talk about, I'm going to turn around here, and we are going to talk, actually before we do that, I want to go over to here and the Christmas Eve fairy. And I do this at home all the time, is I will put a little fairy, sometimes the bigger ones, on a pillow, on a chair somewhere, and it's just kind of hanging out there. And it's kind of sweet. If somebody comes over, I always just say, pick him up, put him in your lap, hold on to him for a little while. I do that on purpose because people love them. If they've never seen them before, they put it in their hands and they just kind of go crazy over it. So as we're going to pull back now on the camera, you'll see how sweet he is on the chair. Yeah, how nice is that? Just a little sweet little guy just hanging out there, just sitting there, and then I'm going to just pick him up and just show you some of the great colors on him. And while you know that I love blue, we are talking green, at least for this moment right now. Love this great little sage green. And he's got lots of greens going on. He's got this hollies, and he's got this sage green coat or cape. But what a great little guy. Great details. He's called the Christmas Eve fairy. He's got music elements going on him. Really beautiful colors. And how pretty does he sit again on that red pillow, throw pillow. How sweet is that? And then up above in the wreath, John did this great wreath, and he put the two larger sizes, and there's some larger scale ornaments as well in their hands, which we're going to see also, and we're speaking about greens and hollies. But we've got the larger two sizes of the Christmas Eve fairy. Go ahead, brain, stop working right now. The larger two sizes of the Christmas Eve fairy, so if you've got a bigger spot for them, how great are they to put things into wreaths? I like animating a wreath or a display of some sort because it really just kind of brings it to life. And I like how he's, oh, if I can stretch and see the pretty side of that ornament. It doesn't want to cooperate right now, but that's life. But how it animates a wreath or a arrangement or some sort of any part of your home. It just brings it to life a little bit. And I like how they're decorating the wreath. You and I know that Jong did this wreath and he did a great job, but the guests can think that the fairies helped with it and just kind of made it magical. Part of Santa's that we've been doing is a collection called the Around the World collection. And that is Santas and fairies and elves from around the world. And so this year, in addition to the African American and the Hispanic themed ones that we do, we did two. Renee, am I able to turn this off in a second? I'm going to get back here and I'm going to stop this. There it is. I'm going to stop this rotator in a second right there. This one is called the Silk Road Santa. And I've done a Asian Santa. I think this is the second one that we did. I believe the one before it was called Shinwasari Santa. People loved this Santa, these Santas. Here we are blue now. So we're talking about some gorgeous blue. This has an Asian-inspired urn in his hand with a beautiful tassel going on there. Lots of blue, lots of reds. You can see he's got the rich red coat with this is a blackish fur, but yet at the same time it has just a hint of red in it. It's like a sculpted fur, really textured. And then how pretty with the sculpted velvet with the red and blue and lots of great details. So there's lots of red accents, blue accents, really great, great piece. The Silk Road Santa. And for the age, he's got an Asian face, very slightly, but he has those features. And those have been really popular amongst, well, I'm part of a mixed family, so I have Asian people in my family. So he works great for my family as well. Another one is right below him that we're going to go to, and I'll just kind of get down low here and may never get back up, but we'll see. And let's see how well we can see him. Are we coming down, John? Here he is. This guy is called the Colors of India Santa. And what a great piece. I mean, very, very, very unique. Full of color, and a profusion, an abundance of detail, of trimmings that goes on this guy. I mean, this is just over the top spectacular. He's got reds, blues, purples, greens, golds, fuchsias. A lot of the colors, if anybody has been to India and seen, there are so many colorful, especially clothing is so dramatic and so colorful and so ornate. And then this gorgeous fabric that is a sage green with, it's actually got some orange colors in it also. But one of my personal favorite fabrics, we don't use it that much, so you don't even notice it that much, but it's a great, great detail. And it does have an Asian or a South Asian influence to it. So what a great, great piece. So Colors of India Santa, if you're having a fun get-together and you're doing different ethnic foods, Indian foods are wonderful, by the way. If you have never tried them, they are wonderful. Great piece, great element to have to add to your fun party or such. So, but Great, great, great piece. I'm going to give you a quick peek at the back, and we're going to see that he's very traditional with this gorgeous red embroidered velvet and all these sequins. And look at the detail on his shoulder. It's a little bit hidden there, but look how great that is. He's got the tassels going on. He's got the hat with the purple and the gold. You know, front or back, you're going to get great details. We don't skimp on any of this stuff. We just make them fabulous no matter what. So, all right, I am going to get up and we are going to talk about deer, because how does Santa get to town other than on these deer? Flying, standing. Okay, let me get out of the way here. And I am going to walk over here and get on this side here. And we're going to talk about a couple things. Not just deer, but this fabulous deer. But can we, when I saw this tree, I was downstairs for a couple days and Jong was working up here, and when I saw this tree, I just was, wow, I went gaga. Because all of the blue in it and how rich it is. There are so many shades of blue. Can you back up just a little bit, Jong, for a second to see all the different shades of blue? Because we've got turquoise, we've got the deep blue, we've got the mint, or the powder blue. We've got this very rich, dark, driving them crazy. This very dark textured blue. We have a turquoise somewhere, I see it right there, turquoise blue. All these different shades of blue, how well they work together with, ta-da, the Santa, the fairy, which is called the Hollywood Star fairy. What a great fairy this guy is. He has the deep blue coat with the harlequin design, with the glittered harlequin design. And then in the very center, this super rich ruby jewels. Those are really pretty. And you notice how they pick up on that embroidered holly on his pants. Really wonderful. So you see the magic of this whole tree, how wonderful it is. And of course, we're using these baubles that we have talked about, the iridescent drop ornaments. We've used these in a couple different shows, how magical they are. But all the different size ornaments going on in here, and the color, and how much blue looks so wonderful. And then red becomes the accent color. But you've got blues and whites, all these different shades of blues and whites, and then red becomes our accent color. And how magical is that? It is very, very traditional, and yet at the same time, it is unexpected. It's very special. And what is he sitting in then? He's sitting in a sleigh. And this is a larger sleigh than the one I'm going to be talking about at the end of the show, but this is the larger sleigh. But here we go. We've got red, black, and gold going on here. And in our living room or family room, Jong's created what has become essentially a scene. Right in front of the mantle is not just the tree, but he put the tree in a sleigh and then brought the deer and pulled it all together. So you've got the deer pulling the sleigh that has the tree in it, that's decorated with all these gorgeous blue ornaments, as well as the pretty fairies that are in there, the Hollywood Star Fairy. Hollywood Star Fairy, when you look at it closer, go online and check it out later. But there's lots of details in that. You're going to see lots of great details on the costume. The deers are wonderful. There's two different ones. There's a standing static one, meaning the head does not move. And then in a minute or two, I'm going to show you another one where the head does move. And it even plays music. I'm not going to turn the music on this time, but you can play music and you can connect it with your phone, actually. So, great visual display when you want to create a big wow for people when they come in your house. And they maybe look in your living room and you've got a tree next to the mantle, and you've got a sleigh, and you've got a deer. You've got a lot going on in your house. So what a great way to just kind of bring in that wow factor that's happening at your house. Just what a way to do it. So after this deer, we're going to show you, John, can we show them the mechanical deer behind me here? I'll go over here. So this is the same deer, but his, excuse me, going to hit me in the head with his antlers. The head rotates, it moves, it goes back and forth automatically, and you can connect your phone, your Bluetooth, and play your own music on it. It does come with some other traditional Christmas music that you can play also. There's a little speaker and a rock-like speaker that the sound comes from, and that's where all the components are, in addition to what's inside of him here. But what a really great piece. If you want to create more animation, and how fun is it to sit the elves or fairies on top of the head like that? I mean, this is just a great, great piece. So we'll come in and we're going to get a little bit different angle of this, and I'll just walk on this side and cross, and we'll get that angle in a second there. I'm going to push this guy out of the way for you a little bit and make life easier for you. All right, great. Mistletoe magic. Elves are sitting on top of the deer's head. How sweet is that? I would put one, but we put two so that we could show you the two of them. But why couldn't you have a little bit more fun and do stuff like that? Yep, you can do it. And there he is, getting in the way of the display. That's exactly what you were not supposed to do. Okay. There we go. There. Ta-da, we're on live, so gosh knows what happens. But how fun are they? The mistletoe magic, he's puckering up, he's got his eyes closed because he knows he's going to get a kiss. Greens again, lots of shades of greens and whites, pearls, lots of beautiful colors. He has pearls on him because the mistletoe flower and pods are a little bit pearly white. So I like to do that, to add pearls with that and make them magical and such. So you've got rotating deer, you've got mistletoe magic elf, you've got, what else could you ask for? I'm going to back up and show you the mantle next. And with that, when we were putting this together, Jong and I were talking about it once I came upstairs and went, wow. I mean, I was wowed by the whole thing. I loved what he did. And he said he wasn't finished, but I said, oh, I love the concept of what you did. Because he took the frame, the gold frame, and there's nothing inside there. We could have put a mirror in there. We could have put a picture there. But I liked the concept of a blank canvas framed out, because what the picture is the scene that he built in front of it. So you've got all the Santa, the fairy, the triple layered elements of the balls and pines and all the other stuff, and that's the scene to me. You've got the elves in the back, or the North Pole elves and some ornaments. That's the whole scene. That's the painted scene that he painted. That's going to be my word on that, is that he painted it. So really pretty on the up there like that. I like the blank canvas, and the gold frame literally frames it all out for us. So when we go in there, and I'm going to sneak in there, and we're going to look first at the North Pole elves, which are all the way in the back there, and they're hanging out back there. So they're characters that are just back there. I'm not going to bring them forward. You can see them online. But the North Pole elves are just hanging out back there. There's two sizes. You've got the very traditional rich red in his pants. I will take this off so you can see his pants. There you go. And how that complements all the blues that are in here. That was part of the plan. There was a method to our madness of doing so much blue display and then being sure that we have some traditional reds that go on in there. So they jumps on it, whether it's against the white background or the eggshell background, or complementing with all the different shades of blue. How magical is that? So just great, great piece. I am going to flip over here. Renee, can you move this guy for just a minute? Just slide him over for me. And we're going to talk about another very, very popular Santa. And that is the Sleigh Bells Santa. And I'm going to shut him off for a minute here. Where's the rotator at? I'm going to shut him off, shut the rotator off so we can see him. This guy, the Sleigh Bells Santa, has been another one of the most very popular Santas this year. And all you got to do is look at him, and you can sure see why. Because first of all, he's extremely happy. He has so much going on him that is just over the top. He's got this fabulous end of the hat, that great oversized bell, all the detail going on in his hat and the colors and this collar. I mean, this is something I do have to give you some more detail on, because this is just stunning. As we start to come down, you've got different bells. He's got sleigh bells. So we've got all these sleigh bells on the side of his coat, his third layer. He's got 3 layers of coats. So there's a lot of layers going on here. But he's got all these different sleigh bells going on here. There's a million of them. And then on the second coat, or the middle coat, there's no bells on it, but there's lots of different embroidery. And then coming down on the inside, that black with the gold diamonds, there's more bells going on here. Just over the top, exquisite. This has been one of the most popular Santas. Again, if you see him, get him while you can, because he's very popular. And I think we don't have any in my warehouse now. As I told you earlier, more are coming in. We don't know when we're going to get them in. Hopefully this year, we'll see. But if you see it out in the store and you really have to have this piece, this is a must-have piece for sure. This is a great, great, great piece. Great details, great colors. I'm going to flip this or turn this. What I like here, we've got the rich red velvet down the center there. We pick it up on the side here, the harlequin, the shorter cape here, and then that sage green going on. So we've got 2 layers of cape here. And it's 2 layers. My hand's going all the way up there. It's not like sewn together or glued together. It's 2 different layers. But there's even a 3rd layer to his cape. So we've got that gold embroidered velvet going on there. Just magical. And while we're turning him around, you can see, again, we don't skimp. There's details that go on the back also. We don't cheat anybody. We give you your money's worth. I know they're not cheap, but they're intended to be gorgeous. And this guy's heavy. Love this. And even if you notice some of the details, we've got this black with the coppery gold diamonds on there, and then a different black with gold sparkles going on in there. Just really, really, this is a wonderful piece. This is for sure a must-have piece for those of you that collect the Santas. Next to a piece like this, I'd have to show something that is elegant, and it's going to be part of the King's Jewel collection, which are some ornaments. We're only showing 2. There's more of them on the marketplace.com. There are more of them, and you can search them as King's Jewel ornament. There was a cobalt one, and that is sold out from my warehouse. No more coming in. The stores may still have it, so if you see the cobalt one, you want to grab it while you can. I'm going to show you 2 of them, though, that we have here. This green one. Good, I got the right one. Look at the magic of this. Look at the details as we spin it around. Look at the detail, the lines, how elegant they are. This is all done by hand. All this movement is all done by hand. It's all hand glued and hand applied. Really, really magical. And then as we come around, look at that. It's almost like a starburst. I mean, this is, once again, this is actually one trim that you'd normally see like on a Mrs. Claus as a necklace or something. But we just pulled that all out there and then added some different details going on in there. But it doesn't stop there. We already saw this on the other side, but I want to talk about this great pearl crown, really fabulous. And then look at, as we go down to the bottom, in fact, I'm going to flip it this way so we can look at it from the bottom up. And we've actually got some black and diamonds, black outline with some little diamond-like characters going on in there, and then all the elegant detail going on here. This is a great piece. This is a huge ornament. This is about 8 inches in size. This is not small. And it's got the black crown going around the cap. This is a wonderful collector's piece ornament. Comes in a black Mark Roberts box. It's all styrofoam molded. When you have a special piece like this, this goes somewhere special. There's, I think, 12 of them. We've been doing them for, I think, 8 years now. Different each year, and they all are different every single year. They are all very unique and different. And we have them casually laying about here. The other one I've got here in this shape, this more finial shape, and this is also about 8 inches in size. Just exquisite. We're talking about jewelry here. Look at this honking big, it looks like the Hope diamond going on there. It's so big, my goodness. And how magical and sparkling. And again, look at the clean lines, how they're coming down here. Almost Versace-like. I mean, this is just very, very exquisite. And then the very classic scroll going on up here that softens it. I mean, again, just gorgeous. The top of it has a crown of jewels going around the top of it. And as we look on this side, you know, each side is different. It's magical. This is not some little, you know, make it all the same everywhere. Look at the great detail on here. The back is just as stunning as the front. In fact, I don't know which is the front and which is the back, to be honest with you. There's a lot of detail going on here. These lines all connect really beautifully. We've got a lot of gorgeous detail going on here. I mean, this is another wonderful, wonderful piece. These are stunning, to say the least, and I love the soft lines, how they go like this. Really a gorgeous piece. I don't have all of the King's Jewel collection. We've made a dozen of them for the last 8 years, so that's over 100 pieces. I wish that I did, because they're pretty amazing and magical, but you know, you can't have everything. So really, really pretty. The little stands, you can get the stands to go with them. These work best for the balls, the round shapes, but I'm not showing you round shapes today. You can still check them out at the marketplace.com. There we go. There's my hand there. Okay, so we're going to now go on to whatever's next, and that's going to be the Fairy of Presence, which I'm going to just show it to you from right here. And that is this guy right here. And he is flying, and I'm going to give you the reason why a little bit later. But Fairy of Presence is flying out above, coming around the mantle and the other tree in here. And how fun is this, though? Because he's got presents in his hands. He's got presents and details in his different floral picks and everything. And right before we went on live, Renee moved the little Fairy of Presence and put it in the chandelier, which is right there. And he sat him on top. How cute is that? So you're seeing the small ones. I like to do this at home as well. The small little fairies and elves, they're great for putting in little places and nooks. You saw the one on the pillow before, and we're seeing this one on top of the chandelier. And Renee is now moving lights in, and it's getting lighter for you to see. And we're doing all sorts of things, but we're catching it. There we go. How pretty is he on top of the chandelier? So this is a great crystal chandelier. Great, great piece. Love the chandelier, and how elegant does that make it? And whimsical. It makes it fun. So if you have a really elegant place in your home, this is something that makes it more whimsical, more playful, more fun, and it makes you happy. I mean, these guys make you happy. That's kind of the thing, and that's what I like about them, is they make us happy. And so that's why we like them so much. Among other things, we like the detail, we like the character, we like the faces, we like the playfulness, we like the names, all sorts of things. So I told you I was going to tell you why he has the ribbon in his hand. So there's you can't see it, but from my angle, there's a deer with his antlers like about to hit Jong in the face, who's doing the camera today. But we're going to back up, and we're going to look at, as long as the deer doesn't attack him, what we've done with the ribbons. And we've tied the ribbons through. I'm going to probably come across the camera in a sec. We tied the ribbons together at the top of the tree. We only did a couple of them because this was last minute. We were trying to come up with some different ideas. So we normally would have put more. But there's a couple ribbons at the top of the tree. And they go down to two different pieces. They go to the Fairy of Presence. The deer is getting him. And the other one, okay, we're going to go to this one first, since we're going to go over here. John, we'll go to this one, and we're going to catch this piece later. But look how it kind of connects, and it ties your displays together. As we get a far perspective, a nice backup perspective of the whole thing, we'll see how the whole tree. Can we get the whole thing? There we go. So you can see, and we would normally put more up. You would put more ribbons and have them connecting to different fairies that are flying outside of the tree. How magical is that? They're flying outside of the tree. They're helping to decorate. They're putting the ribbons on the tree. Just as well, if you remember back, if you're watching all the lives, you remember that great topiary that Jong did with this exact ribbon. And remember how you wrapped that topiary and did a crisscross design? You could do that with a tree. How magical would that be to do a crisscross design with a ribbon? It could be a different ribbon. It doesn't have to be this one. And then have your fairies and elves helping to do that. They're the ones that are doing that work, or at least you're making them look like that's the ones that are doing that work. So that is a fun design element that is just a great thing to do, to have. And it just brings everything to life. While you're looking behind me, look behind me, not all the pretty stuff. I want you to look all the way behind me. We finally got the doors and windows up for our studio. So the guys built this out. It's been actually built out in the warehouse for a while, but we couldn't get it all put together, and it's all a crazy contraption. And then behind that, Jong had painted a mural on the wall 15 years ago, 18 years ago, and it has endured the test of time because, like, you know, we're never going to get rid of that. It's a gorgeous winter scene on that wall. So that's looking out from my studio house. We've got my door here now, and the room. We got the living room. It's cold outside. So we're going to go back to the cabinet in a second, though, and we're going to look at another Hollywood star fairy. And this one is African-American Hollywood star fairy. And so we saw the other one in the tree. Here he is here holding really one of my favorite personal ornaments, which we'll show in a minute. But Renee, do you have the cane? Even, can you take it off the other one so I can have it? Because the cane has come off of this one somehow, some way. And so he comes with a cane, the larger one. The small one comes with a, let's see, are we looking at the big one? Okay, so this is in his hand normally. Let me do it this way. So he's got that great cane with the black and white and all the different details. I have no idea where it went to, but you know, this is how these guys are. The small one has a similar one also, which is very, very cool. What I love, I'm going to use this cane as a pointer right now. I love is this ornament. Can we show that ornament, John? I love the pearl-colored ornament with the holly and the berries design. It's just really, really elegant and exquisite. There we go. We're good. John, I'm going to show you the two of them right below here, and it'll be easier for us to see. Here is the set of two. How pretty is that? Oh, that is gorgeous. Look at how that just came into focus. It's just perfect right the way it is, because you've got the beautiful, soft pearl base, and then that beautiful design of the holly, very soft, with some white and gold berries on there. I mean, I love this set, this holly glitter finial ornament set of two. So I guess that price is for the set of two. Those are gorgeous. Those are worth it. Those are very, very pretty. I will be for sure getting some of these, maybe today, because I like these a lot. This is one of my favorite ornaments. It goes in hands of fairies and Santas and elves very easily. It looks elegant pretty much anywhere, and it's just a great, great piece. So let me go from this to some more ornaments while we're talking ornaments. And I just wanted to, the reason we're showing some ornaments is because the rest of them are going to be larger scale. And there's three different ornaments here. Brian, whichever one you put up first is the one I'm going to show. Okay, great. Is the snowman and friends. So you've got a snowman. Can we see the snowman? The light is giving us an angle. There it is. The snowman, the farmhouse, the cardinal. How pretty is that? And then the other one is, you can see it on the side of your screen on the right side. John's going to find it on the tree. Good for you. Keep going. Good luck. Is it this one? No, it's the same one. It's way back here. Do we have it? Oh, it's the same one. Duh. Okay, here it is. They're laughing at me. The other one is Snowman and Friends. Is the snowman with the little Bambi-like deer, farmhouse in the background, trees, winter scene. And you can see the texture on this. You can see the relief on the ball. So a lot of texture going on. This is a 5-inch ball. So there's two of them. You're going to get two different ornaments, assortment of two. The scale, the grand scale. You're like having big pieces, big scale pieces on your tree. If everything is small, it's really hard to see things. So this just helps bring things out. And look how great it looks just against the different colors of the berries and pines and sparkling balls. Really magical. Then there's a next ornament, which whatever Brian puts up, there it is. It's going to be the holly one. And John, do you know where the holly ones are? I love this holly. Let's see, put this down. Love this holly design on here because it's got, we're talking texture again, because we've got the jeweled berries on the painted, the hand-painted holly, again on a very soft pearl base, a matte finished pearl base. But those jewels, I'm going to turn it sideways so that you can see the texture, the depth. You see that they're thick on there, so it raises and gives a texture or relief to it. And this is a set of two. The other one is a round ball, and of course I can't find it on the tree, but we see it on the side of your screen already, the round ball. Renee's going to hand it to me. He's my friend. He likes me. He's good to me. So here is John. As soon as I got it in my hand. Oh, you found it. He found it. Duh. Okay, that's why we didn't need to. He had already found it, but I have it in my hand, so come on. Give me some time. There we go. Same thing. Magical. So look at the scale of it again. Look at my, there it is in my hand. I mean, the scale of it, it's a big ball. This is a big ball. It's great looking. So there's detail going on in the back. There's more details. Very, very pretty. Very unique piece. So, trade, Renee. And then the third large-scale ornament is this poinsettia ball ornament. Just a set of 2. And I guess we're going to do it in my hand there. And there is the large one. This has texture also. There's little smaller jewels on there that are raised. And holly with berries and everything going on. And then there's a second one somewhere, but Jong knows where it is, but I don't, so I'm not going to try to get in the way of it. But it's an assortment of 2. They both have poinsettias on them. That one has more holly, which is very, very pretty. So really rich. And look how the 2, the holly, the previous holly one that I showed you with that poinsettia one in the background. So really pretty together how these larger scale ornaments work. Can I have that back, Renee? Renee, can I have that back? I'm going to use it on the next piece that we do in a second here. So, except it doesn't have a hanger, so all right, great. Now we are going to talk about the small sleigh. We saw the big sleigh. This smaller sleigh that I'm going to show you. What I love on this whole scene here, let me just stick this in here for now. This whole scene here is great. John, can we get the whole thing all the way back? Renee, can you, even the cords? Yeah, because we want to look at the tree and everything exactly. It looks great. So in front of the tree, we've done, again, another large scene, because in front of the tree, and we raise this tree up. Jong loves to raise things up and make them higher. So, but it looks great in that urn. But under the tree, or in front of the tree, we have Santa in a sleigh. This is a smaller sleigh than the one we saw earlier, but the same design. Pulled by 2 deer, furry little deers that look like Bambi, with absolutely gorgeous little wreaths around their neck. They're not really little. Got those large sparkling red poinsettias. How do those jump against the fur of the deer, the antlers? These are priced each. Some of the sellers on the marketplace are going to sell them as a set of 2 or individually. Okay, we have the screen incorrect, at least right now it is. It says $525.95 each. That's a set. That's a pair of 2. So they're actually around $265-ish or something each individually. So we got their prices wrong on there, but you'll see it at the marketplace. They're either going to be individual or as a set. Love this. I like them as a set of 2 or a pair of them with the one turning his head looking back like, hey, are we going right? Are we sure we're supposed to do this? Are we really going to pull? Can we really pull Santa and all those presents and everything? And yes, they can, because it's Christmas and they can do lots of magical things. But love these wreaths. We made the wreaths in the warehouse here, and we just took lots of beautiful things that we had. I think with anything design-wise, if you have beautiful stuff, it's easy to do. And pulling this together was really fun because of the very, very rich red velvet and the sparkles. But then we found this silver magnolia leaf, which worked great with this other cedar-like pine that has also silver sparkles on it. And then pines going on, even some little succulents. But just a nice texture, like a tapestry of texture, to make the wreath that goes around their neck. And it comes like that. These come with these around their necks. Or they come in the box and you put them around their neck. The head comes off and you snap it on. It's all sorts of fun things to do. And put the antlers on. Great, great pieces. These are really special pieces, and they've been really popular this year. We have them, so if you want them, get them, but we do have them, so we're good on those. We're in good shape on those. So really magical pieces. And then again, part of the whole scene, I'll just step out of the way, is we've got Santa in the sleigh, and they're pulling the sleigh. You could easily make the red velvet reins. I'm going to take one of the beautiful holly ornaments, how pretty it goes with the gorgeous green of his rich green velvet pants, and just tuck an ornament in his hand, because why not? How fun is that? And this Santa actually, Renee, can you hand me the stand? This Santa sits. So his feet. He's flexible as I am, at least right now. But he also comes with a base that you can make him stand. And he's got that tube in the back of his back, and this can come out if necessary, and you just stick it up there and put it on and connect it to his back, and you can have him standing or sitting. I'm not going to demonstrate that because I'm not. But great piece. The sleigh, the Santa, the deers. Great ways to make your home when people come in, whether it's friends, family, kids, grandkids, relatives, family, to just give them that awe, that ooh and ah. Ooh, is that so cool? And it's kind of easy to do. You know, if you're going to get some of the bigger pieces, as long as you have some great pieces, you may have some other stuff already that you can do this with. But you're creating a scene in your home, a good scene, not a bad scene. You're you're styling out a scene with different elements. So you're really a theater set. You're becoming a set director, a set decorator is what you're doing at home. And when you think of it that way, don't be intimidated by it, but just get your good stuff and have fun doing it and enjoying it. It's just easy to do at that point. All right, now the next thing I'm going to show you is called Sleigh Bells Ring Fairy. And I'm not sure if my microphone will pick up his sleigh bells ringing on there. But he has got a lot of great detail going on. He's sitting in this tree. He's got plaids going on. He's got lots of different patterns going on. Greens, burgundies, a kind of brownish fur with a little bit of black. Lots of sleigh bells going on him. So we've seen sleigh bells Santa, sleigh bells ring fairy. I think we're getting a theme going on here. I think they're ringing because Santa Claus is coming to town. And so they're ringing all the bells and being happy about that. Even the small one has the sleigh bell rings in his hands, and so all sizes have it. This guy comes in 3 sizes. Just a wonderful piece. Really magical, colorful, lots of bells, happy, textured, lots of stuff going on there. I love how they're nestled into the tree, and they just create a little bit of interest and excitement that goes on inside that tree. Pretty ornaments. There's lots of color going on in this tree. Super traditional. You know, what we saw today was 2 very traditional trees. One of them unexpected, because it had lots of blue in it, and it still looks stunningly gorgeous. And one that is more expected, which has all the reds and the golds and the greens and the pearls and the whites and sparkling poinsettias and lights and jewels and all sorts of magic going on it. Okay. Next piece I'm going to show you is one of my favorite pieces of this show. One of. Okay, and that is these grand finials that come with the elves. And we tied them together. In fact, let me finish this because we didn't even finish this. You can easily just tie, when you're connecting ribbons to the things, I like to just tie it. Renee wired it on, which was probably a good idea, but I'm just going to tie it on and see how maybe this wasn't a good idea. Come on. All right, we're there. You can then tuck it back in and create a loop or something. You might need a little bit of glue to do that, or it may cooperate. Who knows? So we made these pieces also. And we took all Mark Roberts pieces, this great finial with the black and white, the frosted gold. We made a little wreath collection to put over this. We tied it up with some great ribbons. And of course, put a character on it, a fairy or an elf. These ones have North Pole elves on them. But how magical is this? Can we get a backup shot of this? There's 2 different ones of these. How magical are these? Imagine in front of a window, drapery treatment, next to your tree. I mean, these are really, really dramatic. These are about, my goodness, almost 3 feet tall. So they're good size. Does it have this 42 inches? So I guess it's more than 3 feet tall. I think the smaller one, there's one that's slightly smaller, and it may be more like 38 inches or something, and the other one a little bit, a few inches larger. 2 different sizes, great pieces. I think these are going to be priced each. Yeah, they are. and a little bit different detail going on each of them, but they coordinate so nicely. Really dramatic to put, again, in front of our doorway here, French doors here, and this door opens and this one is the stationary one. But how great is that to just put it in front of a doorway, in the window, as part of your drapery treatment. Imagine have it hanging down in the center of your window, if you have a large open window or a large window, and they are the focal coming down the center, and then the drapes are pulled on each side back. How dramatic would that be? I think we added the ornament to the elf's hand at the top, and we could have easily added a ribbon to there to tie it, to connect it to the tree, in addition to the other ribbons, if we'd kind of had that theme going with more ribbons going on. But we're tying our displays together. We're creating what really is, in this, really magical. Are we able to pull back and see the whole from the red fairy, the fairy of presents? Yeah, so we're seeing a huge, from here all the way over to here, it's all tied together in one big display. From where I'm standing, that's 8 or 10 feet away. But we've tied them together with ribbons. Typically, we would add another ribbon going there. We'd have another ribbon going down there. We'd have 4, 5, 6 different ribbons going down to really create that almost like tenting effect, like the excitement of the circus or something, or the drama of the theater, let's put it that way. So you're creating that excitement in your home. These are easy things to do. Ribbons are easy to do this with. They don't have to be expensive ribbons. They can be if you have some of the gorgeous detailed ribbons. This is a simple gold ribbon. You could use a really pretty, rich black and white ribbon. It's not too expensive. You could use some gorgeous embroidered ribbons, which is, but it's really elegant, or combinations. It would really, really work fine. So it ties all of this together so nicely. These finials, or grand finials, really magical pieces. I believe, in addition to at the marketplace, I am almost certain that Neiman Marcus has these on their website there. So I'm almost certain, because I know we did a lot of these for Neiman's, and I think they put them in store as well. So if you see them in store, grab them, because I don't think they'll have them for very long. After this, I've still got Q&A and tell you something I don't know, but I want to show you the highlight of the show, and that is Mr. and Mrs. Claus. And what I have for you this time is for this Santa and this Mrs., and I'm going to stop it when it comes around. I'm going to hide for a second. And there it goes there. We've got really, really pretty. There we go. She's so exquisite. She's so elegant. She's called Mrs. Claus Timeless Trimmings because her trimmings are just so timeless. There's so much detail on her. This sequined layering on her dress, once again, how many layers does she have? The red velvet, the rich burgundy sequin, the ivory and gold lace, the green shiny. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4 different layers going on here. She's even got another one underneath. But that's the, we don't need to show that part. Magic going on here. This is wired though underneath so you can really shape her. Mrs. Claus is just stunning. Santa deserves a beautiful woman by his side. And he has that with Mrs. Claus. With the Mark Roberts Mrs. Claus, Santa always has a gorgeous woman by his side. And he's very proud and very happy of her for sure. The other Santa that I'm going to show you today, wow, before we do that, just look at the detail of this in the center here. This is so pretty. There's so many great details on these. And you see the sparkle and the sequins. She is like runway ready, fashion show starlet. She's magnificent, to say the least. We paired her with Santa's Night on the Town. And we did that on purpose because he's dressed to go out on the town. And surely she has met that, if not exceeded it. But he is just exquisite with his, I'm going to turn his head a little bit this way to see that gorgeous detail on his hat. And I'll come around here. And the different details going on his clothes, his shirts, the ruffles, the layers. I mean, this is just exquisite once again. And the cape is wired. You've got lots of different fabrics going on. Just exquisite. These pieces are wonderful. I'm going to turn the spinner back on because when you have something magical like this at home, you just want to have it really show off. You got that gorgeous cape of Santa's, the beautiful white fur cape of Mrs. Claus, the sparkling sequins going on. Just the elegance of it all. You can just see them dancing there together. How pretty is that? And we've actually done that display-wise. We've put them like they're dancing, arm in arm, and they're dancing. And when you see it coming around again, you're going to see that they are arm in arm. They are in love, been married for a long time, and they're very happy together. And that's the way it's supposed to be. So Mrs. Claus, Timeless Trimmings, and Santa's Night on the Town, two really magical, special pieces. So now we have Q&A time. So let's do Q&A. Terry, thank you again for getting questions for me, and love that I can get them early and we can prepare, because there's so much work that we're doing right now. I mean, there's so much. We're preparing for next year. We're struggling to get things in for this year. We're doing all this design work for next year. It's just chaos. So thank you, my dear. I appreciate it very much. I only have 3 that I chose to answer today because I wanted to keep it about this year's collection, the Christmas. And so one of them was, and I've kind of answered the question already, but it was a great question and I loved it. And I think Harley sent this in. It was like, I'd like to know if a certain Santa and Mrs. Claus were actually designed to be together. For example, you're asking this for a reason. Which Santa would Mark display with the love of Santa's life? She is fabulous. We didn't show her today, but I think we showed her on a previous show. She is stunning, 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 stunning. And yes, we do sometimes pair them together on purpose. And other times it just happens. It's happenstance that happens. And really, and the reason I say that is because we're designing hundreds of pieces each season. And it's hard to necessarily, we're working on so many. We're working on, like right now, John, Renee, Luis, and I are working on 20 different designs all at the same time, and we're all like, you know, touching and helping and doing all this stuff. And so it doesn't always work out that way. However, Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus are known to have an enormously wonderful wardrobe, enormous. So they dress up pretty cool all the time. So you can find some different ones that will work really well together for that. And I actually meant to bring that one up, but I didn't. I forgot, Harley, sorry. It is the Santa's Jewelry Shop, and that is the one, so write that down, Santa's Jewelry Shop. That is the one that I believe goes best with the Mrs. C, the love of Santa's life. It's a great combination together. He has more burgundies and jewels. He's got a jewel box, and that's why it was designed for her, because she has more reds with hints of burgundies, and they just go really well together. So great little combination. I loved the question, though, so thanks a lot. And you saw how I worked it in here just beforehand. Next one, what or who inspired you to create certain fairies, elves, witches, or Santa's themes? Okay, 2 answers to that. The one is going to come right now, and the other one is going to be at the very end when I do the tell you something you don't already know. The first answer is my mom inspired me when I was a kid. She pushed me. She answered my inquisitive questions that my father didn't quite understand how to answer a 4, 5, 6, 7-year-old. But you know, when I'd ask, you know, where does the snow come from, my dad would talk about condensation and moisture and all that other stuff. And I'm 7 years old. Come on. And my mom would just literally, she'd say, "Oh, David," she said, "honey, the snow comes from the snowflake fairy, flies across the sky and makes this." Okay, the 7-year-old gets that. He gets that. So fast forward. My mother always pushed me. She never let me rest on my laurels or, you know, always, you know, you're responsible, you got to do all this stuff. So as I started my own business, I realized that I could do a lot of these things. The next half of that answer is going to come in about a minute. The last question that I'm going to do for the Q&A is, do you have any, this is a great question also, do you have any tips or tricks for making them fly in the direction that you want to? This is a hard one. But yes, and Renee actually does it better than anybody, and that's with monofilament. And the trick that he does with it, and he did it here. John, can we go to this, this fairy over here, the fairy of presents? You can barely see it, but there's a monofilament tied to his foot here. Otherwise, he would probably spin around that way, the way we don't want him to. The ribbon just came off. but he ties something to the feet and then connects it somewhere. That really is the trick, is connecting a second point, because they do have a mind of their own, and they just are going to do whatever they want to do. So that's your trick on that. So last thing we're going to talk about is tell me something. I'm going to tell you something that you don't already know. And about 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, I don't remember when it was, one of the few times that I was chatting online with a collector on Facebook. And I don't do that very often because I'm usually got a lot going on and I'm exhausted and all the other stuff. But I was chatting with Hope Burns, I believe is her last name. And we were chatting, and I was actually being playful with her, and I think it was something about being naughty or something. And I don't even know Hope personally, but I've chatted with her a few times online. And she seems like a fun person. And I think I said that maybe she was being extra naughty or something. And anyways, we end up talking, and here's another inspiration, just from daily. Brian's going to put this up on the screen. Can you do that, Brian? Great. This is called, I said we're going to do an elf for next year, 2022. It's going to be called the Hopeful Elf, named after hope, of course. And I asked Jong. Jong did his gorgeous drawing. So, and I'm not exaggerating. He can do these drawings fast, like in 20 minutes or something, and get this much gorgeous detail, and then do another one just as fast. I said, John, can you make we're going to put a little sign, Santa, hopefully I can explain. So this is the Hopeful Elf for 2016. It has a number right now, E as in elf, 16. There's actually only going to be 15 elves. Hope your hopeful elf kicked out, I forget the name of the elf that is going to go, Bell Ringer. The Bell Ringer elf for 2022 has been sidelined to 2023, so the hopeful elf can come in. So inspiration comes not only from childhood and from my mother, but from every day. From talking to people and seeing things, it just happens. It's very organic and everything. So that's my answers for you. Last thing I'm going to just tell you, just because I can tell you, is look what I am taking home tonight. I'm taking it from the showroom. I am taking it from the showroom. This is for my Thanksgiving display. I'm going to work it in with Halloween and stuff at home. But this is one of these arrangements, the pre-made, the tablescapes. But I am taking him home tonight. And I like this guy with the black and white detail going on in the pumpkins and the pilgrim sitting on the pumpkin. That's my guy that I'm sneaking home today. And it has been fun. Thank you so much. I appreciate so many people watching, telling your friends and everything. And I think, Brian, we're going to just do a send-off and say thank you very much. We'll see you in 2 weeks.